Welcome. My name is Heidi Cron, and I'm the founder and executive director of the Center for Animal Research and Education, or CARE. CARE was founded in 2003 as a nonprofit organization with the mission to provide a safe, permanent, and loving home for exotic animals in need, like lions and tigers and leopards and cougars and bobcats and lynx and servals and tortoise and lemurs and chickens and I think I got them all. You may wonder what makes CARE different from all other organizations. It is honestly probably because we have this specialized caregiving for special animals, like Dahlia, our three-legged llama, and Bellini, our special needs chicken, who made friends with the most unlikely of animals. Each animal at CARE is very special and very different, so they require different and special things, like Raven, who's 23 years old, which may or may not be a world record for the oldest living leopard. She has 4 beds. She lives inside and outside. She has air conditioned and heat. She has beds to keep her warm, pillows and blankets and toys and everything that she could possibly need. Her area is so special that it has areas for medical staff to reach in and care for her safely when she needs it. You may be wondering why it's important to donate to nonprofit organizations like CARE. If you don't, we couldn't exist, and frankly, I'd go crazy. CARE depends on individuals like you and donations from businesses to keep us alive and support our mission. Unfortunately, COVID-19 has brought challenges to everyone, including CARE. Sadly, tigers can get COVID, so CARE had to close its doors to protect the animals we all love. We have lost significant funding due to no tours, no special events, and no sweets days. Sadly, Fall Festival had to be canceled. Or was there a way to share CARE with the people that need the light of CARE most, but also offset the lost funding from COVID? So we had to give it some thought. CARE's first online Fall Festival was the answer. Thanks to our CARE family of corporate and individual sponsors, we are able to bring this program to the world for free. Makes me so excited. But CARE continues to need your help, and you wonder, how can you help? By spreading the word about CARE to your family and friends, by creating your own fundraiser, and shopping where CARE receives a portion of the purchases. Finally, by donating, if and what you can, to the website shown below. I would really like to thank all who have made CARE the magical place that it is. And I would like to introduce our team to you today. First, we have Jamie Reed. She's on CARE's board of directors. She's an adoptive parent. She's a volunteer. She is the social media queen of CARE. We love her so much, Jamie Reed. We also have Derek Cron. He's on the board of directors, and he's also the director of strategic development and also known as Big Cat Derek. We also have Destiny Cron, operations director, intern supervisor, and the hardest darned worker I know. And finally, Gabby Benedetti, our star intern of Fall 2020, lead keeper, lead pooper, scooper, and winner of the Fall 2020 Heart of CARE. I am so excited to present to you CARE's 9th Fall Festival and first virtual Fall Festival. Please enjoy yourself.
We're here at the Center for Animal Research and Education, or CARE, and they're getting ready to start their annual Fall Festival. But this year's going to be a little different. It's going to be all virtual. So let's check in with some of the residents and see how they feel about this new format.
How do you feel about the Fall Fest being all virtual instead of in person this year? Oh. Okay. Your comments? Mr. Bubbles is head of security for this event. Is there anything that you would like to tell the people?
For the first time in its history, Fall Festival actually has counter-protesters. What is it? What is your message, and why are you here?
Oh, gee. Do you have any comments about this year's Fall Festival? Oh, okay.
How many pumpkins are we talking about? Like for all of Fall Festival? That's amazing.
Ma'am, is there anything you'd like to say about the Fall Festival? Oh, don't eat the microphone, please.
Hey everyone, we are moving on to our quote kids is what we call them. The babies that we took in a year ago are now quite large. Last year when they got here, they were a little itty bitty, and now they are huge. So Bobby and I just want to give a special thanks to Laura Warner for sponsoring the enclosure for the kids. Thank you, you're so awesome, Laura. So we have Bobby with us, Bubs, Bubby, Bubbles. We like to call him Bubbles. He's our ma dad here. He's the one that took care of the kids since they first got here when they were little itty bitty. He is the best mom animal that I've ever seen. Caring for them, licking them, loving them. When they arrived, they were real teeny. I mean, teeny, like maybe 4 or 5 pounds. After that, they grew really quickly. I'm guessing, we haven't weighed them in a few months, but I'm guessing they're at about 275, 300 pounds right now. That's for real. Bubs doesn't take care of them anymore because they have very large teeth and claws. At about a year old, they get their adult teeth. So yeah, we are fully loaded with teeth, and their claws have been fully loaded for a long time. So we're gonna go and let them out, and we have 3 poles behind us for them to pick from. There's all kinds of other wonderful things to see about them online, by the way. You want to go online to see all of that. We have a bathtub full of hay with pumpkins. We have a bathtub full of bubbles, just for bubbles. And we have one with pumpkins and water, which they love water.
And those pumpkins over there have rosemary.
Oh, rosemary, yeah. So we're gonna see. So we want all of you to start thinking, like, which one do you think that the tigers are gonna be most attracted to? Okay, so start thinking about it. We'll give you a couple seconds, not very long. We'll give you a couple seconds to think about which one you think these 4, Cal, Kona, Con, and Leon, Bandito, Thief of Hearts, will come out, and which one they're going to spend the most time in. All right, let's roll.
Okay, so all 4 of the kids have individual sponsors. Idris, or Khan, his sponsor is Amber Drew, and Amber wants to say, "Hi Idris, I wish I could be there to feed you chicken." He does too. Sending love and sniffles from LA. And then we've got Kona with Tyler Lawton, who also happens to be his adoptive parent. And Tyler says, to the most precious bread Kona, thank you for making this insane year so much more tolerable for not only me, but my family. And then we have, hold please, we have Leon is sponsored by Kiara and Steve Van Duzy, who have been longtime supporters of CARE. Thank you very much, Kiara and Steve. And lastly, we have Kel, who is sponsored by Whitney Kokalis, who has been a part of CARE for years too. And Whitney says, do not blame God for having created the tiger, but thank him for not have giving it wings. Isn't that the truth? Thank you guys for supporting the kids. Thank you to this enclosure sponsors, Joe and Diana Goldsberry. Joe and Diana wanted to say, Noelle, you are a gorgeous girl and we love you and want to wish you a happy early birthday and Christmas. Okay, I am so excited to introduce you to one of my favorite girls here. This is Noelle. Whoop, she disappeared. But Noelle is an African lioness. She is 9 years old. She was born on Christmas Day and has been with us all her life. She is really attached to her caretakers. Lions by nature are very social animals. They usually live in prides, a group of other lions, and they really need that social interaction and that companionship to be happy and healthy emotionally. Noelle here grew up with the male lion and he was her companion for years, and unfortunately he suddenly passed away a few years ago. It left her by herself, and so we have had to kind of fill the void with her. We spend a lot of time with her, give her a lot of toys, do a lot of enrichment with her to try to keep her from getting lonely. Good thing is she really loves us. She loves interaction, she loves playing. So much so, and she's so friendly, that some people ask if she is domesticated. There's some confusion around what domestication means. Big cats cannot be domesticated. She is anxious to get to those toys. So I'll talk fast, Noe. I'll talk fast. I know, baby. You want your toys so bad. She loves to play. But I'll make it quick. Domestication of animals, of wild animals, takes generations, and you have to selectively breed animals to get certain traits. Usually what that results in is an animal that is of benefit to us. Only certain animals are really candidates for domestication though, based on their size, their diet, how adaptable they are, their social structure, and big cats, because they are apex predators, because of their size, how dangerous they are, that they're carnivores, that they're not all that adaptable, they cannot be domesticated. So even though, yeah, you can't, she's very social, she loves her people, she is just socialized. She's not domesticated. So that is why, as loving as she is, as friendly as she is, you will always only see us on this side of the fence. We can give her all the love that she needs safely from right here. Okay, she is officially over me talking, so we are gonna get to the good stuff and let her have her toys. right, we have another special message from Noelle's sponsor for this event, Jessica Goodrich. Jessica says, I know it's nearly a month away, but happy, very early birthday, Noe. I wish you endless love and proteins and pumpkins.
We mentioned that Noelle grew up with and lived with the male lion for years. Unfortunately, he passed away a couple years ago, very unexpectedly, and way before his time. And it was very tragic and traumatic for all of us, including Noelle, especially for Noelle. But we have a sponsor that wanted to sponsor in Wally's memory. So Barbara DeLuca, thank you very much for thinking of our handsome Wally, and thank you for sponsoring him in memory for the Fall Festival.
Hi, I'm Derek, and I'm going to be talking about Selena. Selena is one of our tigers here at CARE, and she's actually our oldest tiger. She's going to be 21 years old next month, so any of you teenagers need a beer hookup, she's your stripey gal. She was a pet before she came to live here at CARE, and the owner of her decided that it would be a good idea to declaw her. They thought that it would make her safer. And whenever you declaw a cat, you basically have to cut their fingers off at that first knuckle. That's how you keep their claws from growing in. Over time, those types of surgeries can cause a lot of problems, especially for cats that weigh 2 or 3, 4, 500 pounds sometimes. It basically causes them to have to walk around on parts of their feet that weren't designed to hold up weight. And it can cause a lot of arthritis to develop. It can cause problems with their joints. It can cause cancerous developments in some of the scar tissue areas. And we've seen a number of our cats who have been declawed before coming to CARE have a lot of problems, especially as they get older and older. Now, because of the declawing that she had and because of all of the different arthritis problems that she's experienced, we decided to actually put her on an experimental supplement. It's called Antinol, and it is an all-natural, oil, like fish oil kind of thing, but it's made out of mussels. Not these kind of mussels, but the clammy kind of mussels down in New Zealand. And it's been extremely, extremely good at allowing her to have freedom of movement and motion, controlling a lot of her inflammation and a lot of her pain. And she's been able to take that one supplement and have that one supplement act as a replacement for a number of steroids, a number of different NSAIDs and whatnot, different things that can affect your digestive system, different things that can affect your kidneys. So she's able to have a much better quality of life on a supplement that's much safer. So that's a pretty cool thing. Selena, now we're going to also prove that just because you might be an older kitty doesn't necessarily mean that you cannot enjoy a bottle. Now this bottle was made by Destiny, CARE's operations director, and she put a lot of love and care and ground turkey, and water, and pet milk in it, and everything that a growing tiger needs.
Well, she's 21. She can have the bottle now.
That's aha. Actually, here's a good opportunity to maybe get a little bit closer up on the tongue, and you can see some of those ridges. So you can basically see those little kind of grooved ridges on her tongues. They'll stop biting the bottle, please. And those little protrusions from her tongue are there to help her clean meat right off the bone. Oh my gosh, look at that. Much better. Yeah, Dad's no good at this type of stuff.
Let's go hide.
Oh my gosh, look how messy she is now. See, that's the whole thing. I was keeping her from getting messy. But those tongues they're as coarse and as rough as basically industrial grade sandpaper, and their tongues are designed to help them lick meat off of bones and crevasses and nooks and crannies and different places like that. It helps them to maximize the amount of meat that they can get into their systems. It's actually pretty cool.
I think what's really cool about Selena is that being declawed is a very early death sentence for a lot of big cats. Selena, being 21 years old and declawed and walking the way that she is seriously nothing less than miraculous. She, 4 years ago when we first put her on the Antinol, she could hardly walk. I mean, literally, tears would pour down my face anyway, as I would try to call her to come up to get meds or lock her up to clean, because her feet hurt so bad that she could not walk from her house over there to the fence. One of the reasons she's in a smaller enclosure also is because of her feet, to keep her from damaging them more. So I think that she is completely amazing, and I think she's nothing, I mean, she's amazing. She's just perfectly amazing. At 21 years old, we really didn't talk about age, and their average life expectancy in the wild is 8 years. And in the wild, it's 8 years, and then in captivity, it's around 15, 16 years old, and we're talking 21. So a cat that's declawed and could hardly walk a few years ago, and honestly did not walk this good when she was 10 years old. It's really awesome to watch.
Okay, we've got a sponsor for Miss Selena. It's going to be coming from Julie Doherty, and Julie's message for Selena is a great big hello and a snuffle to the sweet and sometimes spicy Selena. May you always stay young at heart. Love to all at Care.
Nia and Shanti's enclosure is sponsored by Decatur Town Square. Thank you for all your support. Hi guys, this is Nia and Shanti. These two girls are very, very excited. We have some stuffed animals in here with obsession all over them. So let's see them play with them. So Nia and Shanti are two sisters that came here when they were about 2 years old. They came here from a facility that sadly had to close their doors. Now, the thing about care, we kind of don't really want to talk about the past. In the situation like these girls, this facility had to close their doors due to financial issues, and that's a really, really difficult thing. So we try to respect their privacy. And it's really something that can happen to any facility, including us, without you guys, wonderful people that are able to sponsor us and support us through all of these wonderful years with these guys. We want to thank Nia and Shanti's sponsors, Corinne and Michael Donser, and Emer Thornton. Emer wants to say to Shanti, sorry I missed being there this year. I'll bring you treats in person next year, promise.
All right, next up is Milo. Milo is an African leopard, and he's going to be getting 3 paper pumpkins that have been spritzed with Obsession cologne. And one thing that we've seen many, many times in the past is Milo gets downright just slobbery and kooky when it comes to Obsession cologne. He loves this stuff. Milo was a former pet before he came to live here at CARE, at the Center for Animal Research and Education. He actually lived in someone's home, and as he got older, they realized that that might not have been the best idea for them and for him. So they decided to see if he could have a home here. He's another one of the cats that was also declawed before coming to the facility. Leopards are extremely athletic animals when they're not being silly like this. And they're tremendously good at climbing, which is why there are tops to this enclosure. Now Milo is a little bit past his prime, you could say. He's a little bit older. He's one of our geriatric kitties. And some of his best climbing days are behind him, but that doesn't mean that he still doesn't got a lot of leopard left in him.
So you might have seen Milo wobble a little bit. That's just due to a lot of back issues. Since Milo has been declawed, that over time that does a lot of wear and tear on his back. And then he also does have some feet issues. Currently we're kind of battling everything we can with his toes. Thank God it's nothing cancerous, but he does have really, really swollen toe joints on one of his back feet. We're currently trying different antifungal medications and just trying to get that swelling down before we have to think of anything too serious. But we're really, really having Milo in our thoughts and prayers for his feet to get better.
His little tootsies, his little peetsies. Look at him. All right. I guess he is done. Bye, Milo. Bye. Okay, so Milo has a sponsor named Heather Dodge. Yeah, named Heather Dodge. And Heather's message for Milo is for husband Douglas for his birthday. Please tell Milo Doug is honored to share his 50th birthday with you and have a happy fall festival. Thank you so much, Heather Dodge, and happy birthday, Doug.
What's that sound she's making?
Oh my gosh, that sound, I don't know if anyone's talked about that sound. Well, that sound is something called a chuff, but we here at CARE like to affectionately call it a snuffle. Basically, it's a tiger acknowledgement. It's a tiger hello. They can use it for a few different things. Oftentimes, it's a way for tiger mamas to communicate to their babies, or even to try to find them when they have them out in the wild. Oh,
You've got competition.
We got engines going by. Anytime there's a motorcycle.
Good job, Kiara.
That's always great. Wow, what perfect timing. What perfect timing. Well, there was just a few motorcycles that went by, and they have that kind of gargly, growly engine sound, that kind of thing. And most of the time that motorcycles pass by the facility, the lions that live at different points in the compound, they'll all start to roar in unison. It's almost as if they're basically trying to give a warning to, some other lions encroaching on their turf. This little girl right here, her name is Fire. Ever since she was very little, she had some eye problems, developmental type stuff. She can't see the best, so she actually does get taurine supplements that do help with, keeping her vision a little bit better. But she oftentimes does have kind of like that big kind of look, kind of bug-eyed. So that's why, we sometimes we'll call her Firebug. kind of fits. And other times she can kind of sit there and she'll have her tongue kind of sticking out just. Now I've seen that kind of thing happen often in a number of tigers, but Fire, that little, which I would call, a lot of people call that a blep tongue. Fire is by far the best at blepping. She is the most accomplished blepper here at Care. We're gonna be giving Fire a box with Care's emblem on it, which is pretty cool. Hopefully she remembers where it is, because that was put up there maybe about like, what, 25 minutes ago? That could have been enough time for her to basically reset her brain like an Etch-a-Sketch.
Fire did a very good job with her box, and she has a sponsor as well. This is from Douglas Dodge, and he sponsored Fire for his wife Heather for her birthday. Please let Fire know Heather thinks she's a very beautiful girl, and she is green mouth and all. Buggy. Buggy.
Hello. We are going to be playing a rousing game of Pete's and Circles over here at the baby's enclosure. We have 3 circles that have been painted into the ground using washable, non-toxic chalk paint. There's a blue one right there, there's a pink one right there, there's a white one over there. And basically we're gonna throw meat. That's gonna be me, Jamie, Gabby over here. And we're gonna be trying to get Pete's into the circles.
What are Pete's, Derek?
Pete's are, thank you, that's a very good question, Jamie. Pete's are these things right here, except with cats. Particularly big cats. Big, the paws. I guess you could say it's a combination of feet and paw, Pete, something like that. It was coined by my dear and love, wait, was it you or was it the kids specifically?
It was all of us.
It was Heidi and the kids years ago. Basically had come up with that term, Pete's, and it just kind of rolls off the tongue, Pete's.
So what cats are going to be?
That's going to be Jake, JP, and Mr. Luca. Orange tigers, big boys. They're fantastic. They are veterans of the Pete's and Circles game, and they're going to be playing. We've got chunks of meat. And basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna get the cats into the circles, we're gonna get their Pete's in the circle, and there's all that, you just make up the rules as you go at home, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
My boys, there's nothing there yet.
Okay, I got Pete's out there first, I got Pete's in the first one, open the circle. All right, come on over here, come over here.
Oh, look at that, I got it in the circle, that was pretty good.
All right.
Oh, I got
Okay, I got Pete's, okay, I got 12 points. I got 12 points right now. I got 12 points right there. Okay, that doesn't count. That doesn't count because that actually becomes sunlight.
There we go.
Poor Gabby!
What?
Oh my gosh, Dad!
I've got
Whoa! Gabby got all 4 Pete's in a circle!
That doesn't count. No.
Oh my gosh.
Why doesn't that count? She got through the thing in the circle and she got all 4 Pete's.
Come here. Come here. Come on over here.
That's cheating.
Come on this way.
Winning.
Come on this way.
Yay, Gabby!
No, this way.
I have so many pieces of meat in my circle and no one is going in it.
Come on this way.
Everybody likes Gabby's feet in her
This is
circle.
lovely.
Right there. Okay, I got 24 points right there. 24
JP,
points.
I feel
We got 24 points
You
right there.
don't have any. You have 4 points.
Oh, no. I got 24. There's 24
You got
points right
4.
there.
What is wrong?
All right, Gabby's only got 7.
Gabby has like 1,000.
No, she doesn't. She's only got 7
no,
points. I've got 24 points.
Are you
Jamie's got negative 2 points. Jamie's got negative 2 points.
Jamie, how's this going for you?
All right, good job.
I have all the meat in the circle. Like my aim was impeccable and not a single tiger is
Look
on
at
my
points.
circle.
I got another 72 points.
Stupid. This is a stupid game.
Jamie, you're doing so good. You got the meat in the circle every time.
Every time.
Maybe one of them peed there, James.
Maybe.
Jamie, I think that's what's happened. Derek put your circle where one of the cats peed, and they don't want
Mine's
it.
like the bad circle. Look it. Go.
All right.
Go.
That's
go.
at least another 36 points, so I think that brings my total up to 142.
Are you
I
kidding
think
me?
I have the smallest circle. I think that's more points for me.
I think you have the most
Are you
points.
kidding me? They are literally avoiding
They are.
my circle.
They are walking around Jamie's circle.
They are.
Just completely walking around the circle.
There is so.
Wait, there's 1 foot. 1 foot in the circle.
All right, I'll get you some points, Jamie. Don't worry about it. I'll do you a solid.
Oh, Luca, three.
There you go. There you go.
I think it's almost 4.
All right.
All right, there you got it.
I got a
You got.
go.
I got a full tiger in there.
You got a full
it's not even
tiger.
Close to going anywhere.
Jamie.
All right, cool. That was a great game.
And Luca.
Healthy.
I'm Luca of all tigers.
Of all
It was
tigers.
healthy competition
My
between
arch
myself and Gabby.
nemesis.
Gabby, you're amazing. I think Gabby won.
I think I won.
I was in Destiny, you're up there on top. Who
I
do you?
think it's a Gabby for
I-
sure. She,
First place, Gabby.
I think that means I'm a good caretaker.
Ah, come on.
Oh, look
how
at Jamie. All of them are in our circle now.
These are with my circle.
No one was filming, and there was like all 3
All
tigers
3.
were like in the pink circle.
She should get, that's like, hey, Jamie, I think that's like a bullseye. So you get like 1,000 points for getting a bullseye with all 3 in the same.
extra credit just for being able to get.
No, I'm
in
just
a
kind of
circle.
surprised you got it over the fence, honestly.
Seriously.
Gabby's got another 4 points.
Yeah, Gabby's got another 4.
You did so good, Jakey, except you didn't get in my circle.
Yep. Well, I think it was amazing. Just amazing.
No, who the real winner was? It's okay. I'll let Gabby have this one. Thank
Let her have
you.
it?
I'll let her have it.
Earned it.
This was rigged.
Good job.
This was rigged totally. I wonder who rigged it.
Okay, we have an enclosure sponsor. Again, it's not just a cat, but it's different. This whole thing. The other sponsorships is like just him, but then this is all here. And the enclosure sponsor for Solano's enclosure is Beth Trussell. Thank you, Beth. That is a huge help to care. And a message that Beth has is, "Hello, friend. I love and miss you so much, Yano, and look forward to the days when we can all be together again." Thank you so much for sponsoring Solano's enclosure, Beth.
And we do too, Beth.
We love you.
Love you. Hello. As I'm sure many of you have already noticed, a lot of the animals here at Care, they express a wide range of different vocalizations. Some of the animals purr, some of the animals growl, some of the animals squeak, some of the animals roar, and some of the animals moo. Hi, bud. Whoa. Okay. All right. This big guy right behind me is named Solano. You probably noticed that he's got one eye missing. He's a little bit of a pirate. The reason for that is because he actually had a melanoma that developed on the side of his eyeball. Now, here's our theory on that. He was cross-eyed for all of his life, and likely cross-eyed as a result of some of his genetic wonkiness. One of his eyeballs was constantly looking this way, and the sunlight was actually hitting the part of the eyeball that normally wouldn't, and more than likely melanoma kind of developed there a little bit more readily than it would have or should have. For those of you that don't know, melanoma is a type of cancer, and that's what he had. And we had set up a vet appointment, a procedure for our vet, Dr. Bill, to come out and remove that lump from his eyeball. And when Solano was on the operating table and sedated, our vet luckily did a further examination and had to kind of feel around his whole orbital socket. And what he ended up finding was cancerous developments that weren't just on his eye, but they were really kind of burrowing deep and surrounding all of his eyeball. And the only way that we would have been able to remove all of that cancer was to take his eye. And this is the thing that really stunk about that, was because, like I said before, Solano was cross-eyed. And that actually was his dominant eye. That was his good eye. That was the eye that he was able to kind of see the most out of. So we were basically between a rock and a hard place. We either have to, let him live with cancer, or we have to remove his one good eye. We were a little bit worried about how that whole thing was going to work out. But Heidi made the decision pretty much right then and there, like, well, we got to do what's best for him, and hopefully the other eye can do the job that needs to be done. And that's exactly what happened. We ended up having the eye removed, and within a few days, and I tell you, this is one of the more interesting things, Solano has struggled. Before he had his eye removed, he had struggled a lot. He just couldn't see. He would kind of bump into stuff. He lived with some other cats, and he would kind of get into their space because maybe he saw more of them than there actually were. He was a mess. But when he actually had one eye, it's almost like he was able to see things clearly for the first time ever. And then I remember him actually in the vet center recovering, and I remember him looking at me, and I'd never seen him look at me like that before. And it was just like, I see you. And if I wanted to, I could get you, because there's only one of you. I'm not seeing that double stuff. I got my eye on you. That's what he was telling me. So in a weird way, removing that eye ended up actually allowing him to see better. It actually allowed him to navigate his environment better. So yeah, he's an interesting guy. He's got a pretty interesting story. Solano also has an individual sponsor, Sharon Brewsteris. Sharon Brewsteris is also Solano's individual sponsor. So both Solano's self and his enclosure has a sponsor, and he is drooling so much. Thank you so much, Sharon. You are sponsoring his drool. You're really great. And just keep on Brewsterin'. This little girl is named Wren, and when I say little girl, I mean she's about 200 pounds. But in tigers, or tiger size, that's teeny. She's teeny tiny. Some of our tigers, like Boomer and Slade, they can get to be close to 600 pounds. Well, 200, I mean, she's about a third of the size. That means she's a fun size. Like fun size candy bar, third of the size of a candy bar. Fun size tiger. That's right. Yeah, you're a fun size tiger. That's what you are. Now what we have, all right, we're going to be doing some holiday themed boxes. And you, dear viewer, get to choose or get to guess which one she is going to pick. So we got Thanksgiving, Christmas. That's for the people who want holly jolly all year round. Which one do you think Wren is going to pick? Stay tuned. Okay, so we got Destiny, our operations director, over there, and she is doing the security checks for Wren, because that is another very important and critical aspect of the operations here at CARE, is that we have redundant, highly communicated security checks from whenever we're doing any sort of thing inside of the enclosures. So we're going to be doing the boxes. Which one do you guys think that she's gonna go for? Me, personally, I think she's gonna go for Christmas. I think she's gonna go for Christmas, but that's just me. Or I want her to go for Christmas. What about you, Jamie?
I'm gonna say the mashed potatoes.
Jamie says mashed potatoes. Chris?
I want mashed potatoes.
Chris likes mashed potatoes. Cool. So we got 2 for mashed potatoes, 1 for Christmas. Destiny?
I'm a Christmas girl.
Christmas girl. Okay, 2 for Christmas, 2 for mashed potatoes. And then, but Ren is gonna be the one who is ultimately going to decide. All right. All right. So, Destiny, whenever you are ready. Okay, now, I mean, just because she touched it first. Damn it. I mean, dang it.
That's my girlfriend.
No.
You go for them carbs.
She's... That's not very festive, Ren. Now there are chicken drumsticks in all 3 of those boxes. So no matter who won the guessing part of it, you know, Princess absolutely is the clear winner because she gets 3 boxes that she gets to have fun and tear apart, and 3 drumsticks, and she's already...
That's Ren, by the way.
Did I say princess? I mean, she is a princess. That's what I meant. I mean, come on. Oh my gosh. Why do you gotta be pointing these things out, Jamie? I mean, Ren. Thank goodness. For those of you keeping track at home, Princess is a white tiger. And that's, yeah.
On the other side of the facility.
On the entire other side of the facility. What am I even thinking? My gosh. Okay, so now side bets. What's the next one she's gonna choose? She's gotta choose the second one. Go for Christmas, Ren. Go for Christmas. She might not. Oh, Ren. She prefers mashed potatoes. Yep. She just loves them. Loves mashed potatoes. That is the hill that she will make her last stand on.
We have a special message from Ren's sponsor for this event, Melissa Westfall. Yes, the same Melissa that is putting all these videos together. Melissa says, "Hi Ren, I love and miss you every day. Stay perfect, and I hope to see you soon."
So this handsome young fellow is Max, and Max is about as happy as a bobcat could possibly be right now because he has all of his favorite things. He has a tunnel and a new ball pit and paper towel and toilet paper rolls that have all been spritzed with his favorite thing in the whole world, which is Obsession cologne. So he is going to probably spend the next 30 minutes drooling everywhere and rubbing all in it and getting himself nice and smelly. But Max happens to share his enclosure with Miss Mia. Don't know where Mia's at. She's probably waiting for Max to get done playing so that she can come in here and dive in. But they have both been here since they were tiny little bobcat kittens. They came from 2 different places. Mia was found by a family on a construction site. They did the right thing. They tried to wait to see if her mom came back to get her. She didn't. We happened to be having really bad flooding that year, so we think that she got separated. So they took her home. Unfortunately, what happens is that young kittens like that can bond really quickly to people that try to take care of them. So by the time we picked her up a couple days later, she was sitting in everybody's laps and purring. So unfortunately, she could not be rehabbed and reintroduced into the wild because the first thing that she would do is go look for people because that's where food comes from. Max, on the other hand, his mother was shot by a game warden, and he was taken in by a private rescue. And when they heard that we had a little bobcat here, they asked if we wanted to take him too. It was love at first sight. Mia actually saw Max and sat on him and claimed him as her own. And they have been inseparable and the most perfect pair ever since. Bobcats are really different. All the small cats are different than a lot of the big cats that we're talking about. They are obviously a lot smaller, so they're not apex predators. They're not at the top of the food chain always. A lion or a tiger, they have nothing else to fear. They're the big ones. They're the ones that everybody else has to look out for. These little guys are a little bit different. They do have their own predators. They have animals that can kill them. So they tend to be a little shyer, a little bit more elusive and secretive. They don't like big groups. They're very picky about the people that they like as well. Max and Mia in particular don't like many people.
But they love Jamie?
I'm fortunately one of the ones that they like because I am the lady that plays with them. I'm the one that brings toys and treats. So whenever they see me, they get really excited because good things happen when I'm around. They are amazing hunters. They're really adaptable. They live all over the place. They live in rural settings. They live in cities. I know where I live, we have a whole community of bobcats that live in the local park and keep the place rodent free. They're really important to our ecosystems because they do take care of rodents and pests and small animals that can really overpopulate. However, the unfortunate thing is that it is completely legal to shoot them, which, as I mentioned, again, is a big reason why Max and Mia could never be rehabbed and released into the wild, because if they are familiar with people, if they've been socialized, if they see people as a potential source of shelter or food, they're going to go on someone's property, they're going to go in someone's backyard, and understandably so, that person might be concerned, especially if they have kids or small pets that the bobcat could kill. And that could really mean the end of a life for a bobcat. So that's why it's really important if bobcats are found when they're little. If you find one, please don't interact with it. Call somebody that knows what they're doing, a rescue. Try not to touch it. Try not to be around it. Try not to take it home. Because if it does become habituated to you, that could mean that they have to spend a life in captivity. All right, well, to wrap it up, we have a sponsor for both Max and Mia. One of our board members, Melanie Klein, over in London, England, she sponsored both of them in honor of her friends, and they have a message. Hi, Jemima and Gabriel. We are super impressed with how you faced all the challenges of this year. You've worked really hard and got good reports and the good results on your exams. Lots of love, Mom and Dad. That's pretty cool that Mom and Dad did a message like that with bobcats. All right, well, thank you, Melanie, and we'll see you in a bit.
Hi there! Munchie's Enclosure is sponsored by Drew Gibson. Thanks, Drew. And Drew wanted me to give Munchie tons and loads of snuffles, so here we go. Good boy, Munch. Good boy, Munch. This is Munchie. He's our amazing golden tabby. He's been at care for about 2 years. and we love him very much. He's pretty special in many different ways. He has a lot of emotional issues, doesn't handle stress or new things very well at all. He has genetics that are very poor. Golden tabbies were bred as a novelty for people and not really given much attention to genetics for the animals. So Munchie has emotional problems where he can't control his anger, aggression, confusion, and he gets very frustrated when new things are around, when there's food, which a lot of cats get aggressive with food, but his is different. His is nearly obsessive. So we worry about him a lot. He also, if you notice, he kind of has a hunched back. Not really sure what that's all about, but we do notice that with more of the inbred animals. So I don't know. We don't really care where he came from, what his genetics are. He's just perfect. So Munchie sponsor for this event is Lisa Kittredge, who is an amazing friend and donor at CARE. Thanks, Lisa.
Thanks, Lisa.
Munchie can't wait to see you.
All right, this is Melita, and her enclosure is sponsored by Laura Sattler. She says, "Hi, Mita Pita, much love and snuffles, and hope you still well and healthy until I can come visit you again. Be sure to always protect those proteins."
Alright guys, this is Melita. So you're gonna first of all notice that she is making a lot of noises. One thing about tigers is they make a ton of different noises, and I just kind of call this a grunt. It kind of sounds like growling. A lot of people think it's growling at first, but no, she just wants chicken. She is currently locked up and waiting to play with a whole cornucopia of fun things. But first of all, a little bit about Melita. Melita used to be with Fire, one of our cats who was nearly blind and at some points completely blind. We kind of got her as kind of a seeing eye tiger for a while. And now that they've grown up, they've kind of grown apart and they like their own personal space, but they do share a fence and can hang out all the time. But throughout her years here, she's had many, many wonderful people that have come to take care of her, including Lisa and JD Thompson, who have spent pretty much her entire life just taking care of her. One specific thing about Melita that kind of sets her apart from everybody else is that she has a little bit of a temperament against men. That's nothing in particular that happened. Sometimes these things just happen. A man can walk by and sneeze and scare her and the world's ending. And also many of our caretakers are women, so that just kind of gears that way a little bit more. Let's let her out and play with some toys.
And Melita has a very generous sponsor for this event, Kelly McConnell. Thank you, Kelly, so much for sponsoring Melita and helping us make this event available to everyone.
Kettle corn.
Okay, I'm gonna kind of sit down a little bit. Is that okay? See, I told you it's no big deal. Meet Care's own grumpy cat.
Yeah.
This is Kiara, and she is our second lioness here at Care, but her and Noelle are as different as night and day. Could not be more different. Where Noelle just wants everybody to come and say hi and hang out, and just she's affectionate and friendly. Kiara is complicated. So she will see you approach from the other side of her enclosure. She will come to you to say hi and rub up against the fence and sit down and act like she's settling in for some good quality time. And then all of a sudden, she's barking and growling and hissing. She's very moody, which is a lion thing. Lions are just moody and they switch moods really fast. They are also notoriously territorial, and they are also very possessive. Their things are their things. And not only should you not touch their things, you may not even want to look in their general direction, or you will get this type of reaction. So I wanted to talk a little bit about her. Hold on. Before we let her have her tree, she goes absolutely crazy over pine enrichment. So that's what she's getting, and she will be a snarling mess, I'm sure, as soon as she gets to it. But just a little bit about where Kiara comes from. She's about 16 years old. She came to us about 2 years ago with 4 other cats from a facility in Florida, a private facility that was closing operations. When she got here, she was a little worse for wear. She had some mouth problems that we were afraid were her teeth. We had our vet look at her. Turns out her teeth are okay, but she had some really bad skin issues that have since cleared up beautifully. She is golden and fluffy, and looks tremendous despite her age, and has her cute little tongue sticking out like the adorable mess that she is. So we're gonna let this grumpy cat have some playtime with her pine enrichment.
Look at your tree.
That pine tree it's natural, it's smelly, it's got pine oils. Lions in particular tend to love that stuff. You're a lion. If so facto, you should be getting all kind of mushed up on that tree. Nope. She says nope. I heard you guys. You guys were talking about me. You guys were saying things.
Okay.
It's like, I'm not going to give you cute stuff.
That is a lion of leisure.
Yes. Oh.
Oh, Kiara. Okay, so now that Kiara has made an absolute liar out of me and did nothing with her tree that we were sure that she would love, I do want to mention that Kiara has a sponsor for this event, and that is Danielle Mills. And Danielle says, Kiara, I'm so happy to see how much you've improved since arriving at CARE. You are the prettiest kettle corn. And kettle corn is what some people call her because she is both salty and sweet. So thank you, Danielle.
Hi everyone, Heidi here. Just wanted to give you a little update on our building progress. This right here is our freezer and our cooler for animal food. That freezer on the right is massive and can hold up to 50,000 pounds of meat and stays full quite a bit of the time. The cooler is the one next to it. We moved it down here and put a roof on it. Really helps with electrical efficiency. And then here's our new barn. This barn is massive. We needed it terribly bad for all of our equipment. It is 3,600 square feet. We'll be able to keep all of our tractors, mules, and equipment in here, which is really, really super nice. To protect it from the weather. We had a very generous contribution from the Gudenstein Foundation, and then an amazing match from Erica Grable that helped us finish this barn up. I mean, look at how massive it is. Oh, say hi to Gibson. Hi, Gibby. Hi, big guy. So yeah, this is quite the undertaking. It's almost finished. Can't wait to show you the inside. Right now it's just kind of a mess. I'm going to stay away from that. And it'll give you something to look forward to. So, new barn. Really, really awesome. Can't wait to share it. Can't wait to use it more. The dogs love it. And thanks again, Erica and the Gudenstein Foundation for your continued amazing support. The second part of the building project with the Gudenstein Foundation was to build Ali and Archie an enclosure specially fitted for geriatrics. Ali and Archie are getting quite elderly, so our first step was to expand their enclosure. So it's double size since we built another area for Ezra elsewhere. So they have a big tree, swimming pools, everything you could want. Nice big cave for Archie, who loves it very much. So now what we're doing next is building this geriatric house. I want to thank everyone who donated on my birthday fundraiser also, because that added an additional amount of money where I just purchased air conditioning and extra special things, heat and air conditioning for this building. This front area here will be a French door. Can't wait to show you. Hopefully it'll be done in the next couple weeks. This will be a French door that leads inside for people, so they'll have a lot of natural light. Right here is a footer. This is where their fence is going to go, across here. So people can come inside like myself and give them attention and medical attention in particular. The fence that will be on the inside is this 4x4 mesh. This will allow for injections, any kind of specialized care that they may need, where we might have to put equipment or syringes, etc., in to help take care of them. This is their indoor area. It will have probably a hay bed, which we like to use. And over here will be a tunnel that goes out to their enclosure. And there goes Archie. Oh, you can't see them through the trees. There's Archie climbing up on top. Archie and Ali will have a closer to the ground platform system that will be more accessible to the geriatric population. Hi, Al. Love you, baby. So that's it. All right, we have some sponsors for this, the cats here. Archie's sponsor for the event is Emer Thornton. He says, "Hi, sweetness. I hope you're enjoying your extension. I love your new pool. Can't wait to see the next phase of work. I think you'll love it even more than your man cave."
Thanks, Emer.
Thanks so much, Emer. And then we have one more. We have one for Ali. There it is. And Ali's sponsor for the event is Chris Nicholson. Thank you so much, Chris and Emer. Really appreciate it. And Emer actually is from Ireland, and he sponsors some of the cats here. Really awesome, yeah.
Over here I got Nadal, and then over here I got Divali, and they both have sponsors, and their sponsors are Nicolina and Cameron Day. And the message that Nicolina and Cameron have for Nadal and Divali: thank you for always greeting us with snuffles. Love, Nicolina and Cameron. Thank you guys so much for sponsoring these two.
And Nicolina is one of our intern graduates, by the way, and still a volunteer with the organization.
That Nicolina?
Who just got married.
Just got married. That's why I didn't even recognize the name. This next tiger is Nadal. He's orange. He has stripes. What else do you want? What else do you need to know? Okay, we got a lot of fall stuff. We got a lot of fall stuff for Divali. We got a bunch of those weird pumpkins, those like squishy little flat ones. They're all lumpy and misshapen. Chernobyl pumpkins. Got that one. You know, it's like aged cheese pumpkin. Normal ones, hidden. Bale of hay. We're gonna see how Divali, not Divali. Yes, Divali. My gosh, where's my brain? Anyway, let's just go ahead and let him out.
This is Princess, and her enclosure is sponsored by Drew Gibson, who is one of our volunteers and adoptive parents and wonderful person. Thank you, Drew. And he just wanted us to give Princess snuffles. So. This is Princess, and we're going to talk about Princess and her story and what she's all about in a second. But I wanted to tell you a little bit about white tigers, and I'm going to try to make a really long story as short as I possibly can. So there's a lot of controversy around white tigers because they have a really sad, distressing history. White tigers are caused by a mutated gene, a recessive gene, that is naturally carried by Bengal tigers. Hi. So Bengal tigers, there used to be white tigers found in the wild. Not all the time, they were super rare, but they were still found. And the Maharajas, or kings in India, would have them caught, either dead or alive, and brought back to them as souvenirs and symbols of power. And essentially what happened is that anytime a white tiger was sighted, they were either captured or killed, and it basically eradicated that recessive gene from the gene pool in India. So the last white tiger that was found in India was in the 1950s, and his name was Mohan. And of course, the people that found him knew that he could possibly produce white cubs, which they could sell and profit off of, so they started breeding him.
and they started breeding him to other tigers, but orange tigers. And of course, they didn't know as much about genetics then as we know now, so they couldn't do genetic testing to know which of these orange tigers carried this recessive gene. So it was a bunch of trial and error, and it just never produced any white cubs. So they did know enough about genetics to know that his offspring would have that recessive gene because he would pass it down to them. So they started breeding him with his daughters. And that is when a very long history of inbreeding of white tigers started. The first white tigers ever born in captivity were then shipped to the US and put in a zoo, and that is where every white tiger in America can trace its lineage back to. Since then, the inbreeding has continued, so a lot of white tigers in captivity have ended up having really horrific problems due to that irresponsible breeding. A lot of them have neurological problems, a lot of them have physical problems. Solano, who you met, was horribly cross-eyed, which is one of the many side effects of that inbreeding. All white tigers are very susceptible to skin cancer, which we have had a lot of cases here. Princess came with Malika, Ren, Munchie, Kiara. Yes, those four. She was the fifth one. And when she got here, she was really young. She was not even fully grown when she got here, and she seemed to be doing great. Moves can be really, really stressful for these cats. They are not really adaptable to moving from one environment to another, so it can be really traumatic for them even. But when she got here, she was really friendly and chuffing at people and seemed okay. When she got into her enclosure, she was curious and checking things out, obviously nervous, but certainly seemed to be okay. And then it just changed. She just stopped being okay and started being very, very afraid. An afraid tiger is not only sad, it's dangerous. So we really had to do some creative thinking to try and make her feel more secure. So her lockdown area over there, so all the cats have a lockdown area. We completely covered that on the outside with tarps so that she would feel more secure. She had a place to go to where she was protected on all sides. And that does actually make them feel a little bit more safe. We had volunteers and interns really working with her. As a matter of fact, I believe that these piñatas are from one of our former interns, Carrie Lynn, who was here when Princess was adjusting and really spent a lot of time with her, trying to build her confidence and make her feel comfortable. Princess has come a really, really, really long way. She is absolutely wonderful. She's a big old sweetheart. She can be really playful. She chuffs at everybody except for a few people. Oh, Stinky Face. So we have not talked about Stinky Face. So we're gonna make this really long. Princess gets the spotlight here. Stinky Face is something that cats do when they smell something interesting, and it is them actually, hey, it's actually them passing air over a organ and the roof of their mouth called the Jacobson's organ, and that behavior, that making the stinky face, is called the flamen response. And it allows them to almost smell/taste pheromones. So they do that. It makes them look like they're grimacing or smelling something stinky, but yeah, they're actually smelling things. It's a way to investigate scents a little closer. Hi, Angel. Okay, so since we were talking about white tigers when we were talking about Princess, we do have another in memory sponsorship. So Emer Thornton, he wanted to do a sponsorship for this event in memory of another white tiger that we had here. His name was Canapali. He was an amazing guy, big, huge white tiger. You can find out more about him on our website. But Emer wanted to say to the recipient of the Canapali Memorial sponsorship, please accept this as a reminder to live life to the fullest, moo to your heart's content, and love whoever and whatever you want. Pa, you my main man, I miss you lots.
We have a super fun little side competition for you all. And the winner gets this little gem. I love it so much. It is my favorite. I was going to keep it. I told everyone don't touch it. It is of the four, what we call the kids, Leon, Cal, Idris, and Kona. And it just turned out super fantastic. All four of them painted it together, and we could send you the link to where they did the painting. This is only for the people doing the live chat on the premiere on the day after Thanksgiving. What is that, November?
The 27th.
27th, 2020. So you have to be on the live chat to do this. The first person on the live chat to guess how many whiskers are in this bowl win this amazing painting that you can decide which way it goes. I kind of like it this way because you can really see their little footprint. And all four of them took part in doing this masterpiece. So it's very, very special. Really, really cool. So guess how many whiskers are in the bowl?
Before anybody starts asking us to send them whiskers, do you want to tell them why we can't?
Okay, that's a great question.
And where these whiskers came from, too.
Oh, these whiskers came off the ground. Just like our hair falls out when we brush it, the tiger's whiskers fall out. The reason why we cannot give anybody these whiskers is because tigers and many of the big cats here are endangered species. Endangered species are regulated by the federal government, so people don't breed animals just to kill them and sell their body parts. That happens in many countries, sadly. And to control that, they have something called the Lacey Act. And that means we cannot transport even a naturally occurring whisker that falls off their little face. We cannot transfer that over state line for any kind of sale or any kind of revenue income. So we can't give you the whisker, but we can give you paint. And I really hope somebody really special wins this. This is so special to me. Probably my favorite artwork ever. So good luck. Good luck. There's more than 5. There's your hint. Hi, Heidi again. I would like to thank the Thomas family of Decatur, Texas for sponsoring Zuby and Ra's enclosure. Although this is just the inside of the enclosure, they have their outside too. This is kind of a special place, so I'm really glad they did. Very good friends. Thanks, Lindsay. Hi, here we are with Arale and Zubiri, who's outside. This is their inside enclosure that was specially designed for them when they were little ones. It's a nice big space inside, and there's different areas to provide medical care. When Zubiri and Arale were babies, they sadly had a condition called wobbler syndrome. And what that is they can't absorb calcium. If you know what calcium is, it's what makes your bones hard. So they could not make calcium make their bones stronger. It's a metabolic disease is what it's called, which means they just can't make their bones hard. So their bones were breaking, and it was terrible when they were little. We couldn't figure out what was wrong, and we took them to a special doctor that found out this is what they had. They said there wasn't much of a chance for them to survive, but we worked super, super hard every single day giving them medications and vitamins and special treatments from companies all over the world that heard about them. They also had something called an assisi loop that was donated, and it was an electromagnetic collar that helped make their bones stronger and help them heal faster. It was really amazing because they sure did heal fast, and they sure did get big quick. Unfortunately, they got a little big, as Raleigh is a little obese. He weighed in last year at 640 pounds. 640 pounds. Now, he does eat every 4 days, but for some reason, that seems like it's too much. So we've tried to monitor his diet and give him a little bit less all the time, and it's working a little bit, but really, really slow. Zubiri, on the other hand, is kind of a thinner guy. He's got a better metabolism, so he isn't nearly as chubby as Raleigh is. So, as you know, Zubiri and Arale are male lions, and we know they're males because they have that big, huge, fuzzy mane. Arale is the alpha of this group most of the time. He has the darker, more rich colored mane and much fuller, and Zubiri's is a little bit more lighter, if you need to tell them apart. All right, despite all of the problems that they had when they're little, they don't show any signs of any kind of problems now, and we're really glad to have them in our lives.
Okay, so we're at Arale and Zubiri's enclosure, and we've got Heidi and Derek up in our safari suites, which open up onto their enclosure, and they are going to have a contest. They have red chili peppers, and they're going to see who can get the most chili peppers into the pools. The empty pools. But there's a secret.
You're going down.
You're going down, and
it's not just who can get the most chilies in there, but who can get the lions to get the chili peppers. And the secret is that Heidi has chicken in her chili peppers and Derek doesn't. So, yes, you can go now.
Wait, we gotta let Zub and Ra out.
Yeah, the cats have to be let out.
Yeah, they can be let out now. Yeah, so Derek.
Stay ready, let's go.
Derek doesn't know.
Oh, you.
So his are really lightweight.
Dang it.
And hers are heavy.
No, Zuby! Zuby! You traitor! Zuby!
Go, baby, go!
Get on, Zuby! Get over here! Run! Over here!
So of course they want where the chicken is.
Over here! Zoo! Come on. Over here. No, get out of there. That's stinky.
Oh, good
They
stuff.
got a bunch of... No!
Good stuff, Zuby. Good stuff, Ra.
That's got stuff that's...
I won!
It's gonna make you poop a lot. No, you know, I won. I actually won the contest to repel the most lions.
Our sponsors for Arale and Zubiri today are Andrew and Kelly Rotner, and They are very, very good friends and great helps to our organization and both on our board of directors. And they sponsored our boys today. They wanted to give them a message. We are so happy to have been involved in Arale and Zubiri's life since they were cubs in 2014. They are both very special to us. And guess what? You're very special to them too. Thanks, Andrew and Kelly.
All right. This little guy is Kevin, and he is our African serval. Kevin came to us just over a year ago. He had been owned as a pet, and then someone else took him in when he was about a year old, and they were keeping him in a chicken coop in their backyard, and their neighbor was really trying to convince them to rehome him to somewhere more appropriate. And finally she was able to do that. So we went down there and picked him up and brought him back. He is a very shy guy. He was incredibly shy when he first got here. But he has really blossomed and opened up, and he has a big personality. Servals hiss a lot. That's kind of how they talk, and a hiss can mean a lot of things, not just necessarily that they're mad. It can mean that they're curious or nervous or hungry or whatever. But he has the speediest paws in town. So servals are amazing hunters. You can see he's really using his paws, and he's about to dump that bowl off of the phone. We're recording the action underneath a bowl. His favorite thing in the whole world is shrimp. He goes absolutely bananas over shrimp. So he's using those speedy little paws to just scoop the shrimp out of the water and feed himself. They have incredibly long legs. Their legs are, whoa! Kevin! Oh, you ruined it! Now he's mad that he ruined it. Oh, Kev. Sweet boy.
No boy.
You ruined the game. Anyway, they have the longest legs relative to their size of any cats. He has got super long, skinny legs. I think he's sitting on a shrimp. I think you're sitting on one. He's getting so many shrimp. But they are incredibly successful hunters in the wild. They usually have about a 50% success rate on their hunts, which is insane because a tiger only has about a 10% success rate. So they are very good hunters, even though he does not mind being his food being delivered to him. Anyway, okay, so we're gonna finish up with Kevin.
Kevin, the shrimps are getting to you, man.
They're done.
You got to get off these shrimpies.
You ate them all.
He's losing it.
All right, so Kevin ate all of his shrimp. He's a happy boy. His belly should be really full because he just downed an entire bag of shrimp. Anyway, Kevin has a sponsor for this event, Mary Clark. Mary wanted to say that she is so glad that Kevin found his forever home at Care. I want you to know that we all love you and enjoy watching you live your best life. And he definitely lived his best life today.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh.
We put a pine tree right. Oh, she just walked right past it.
So here we have Malika. She is a Siberian lynx, and you may have seen her be quite the movie star she is, just run out and not cooperate with us. We did set up a pine tree that she usually loves, but we're here instead. So what you saw her come out of was what we call the studio, and since her species is used to like cold climates, and here in Texas it gets pretty hot. So we set up the little studio with an AC for her just to make sure that she is comfortable in this extreme heat in the summer. Some fun facts about the Siberian lynx species is that they have webbed feet that kind of act as like snowshoes to help them walk around in the snow. It takes a lot of energy to walk through the snow all the time and would take a lot of energy to run after their prey and catch them. So what they do is they hide and wait for their meal and then pounce. And they can jump up to 10 feet in the air while pouncing for their prey. The Siberian lynx were nearly hunted into extinction during the early 1900s. They have very soft fur because of the cold climates that they're used to. And this hunting left them with only 700 left in the wild. So in the past 50 years, we've gotten their numbers increased nearly tenfold and are off the critically endangered list.
Good girl, Malika. Just sitting pretty. Our resident model.
Malika's sponsors are Hannah Austin and Richard Snyder, and their message for Malika is, Malika, you are a beautiful girl. Keep an eye on Arale and Zubiri because sometimes those boys are up to no good. With love, Hannah and Richard.
Hi everyone, Heidi again. I'm here right now talking about Rasa and Sydney, who's over there sleeping. These are our 17-year-old tigers, Bengal, Siberian, they're all mixed together. We don't really know here. We don't really care what they are, they're just tigers. So Sydney and Rasa have lived together their whole life, and Rasa has had some interesting developments throughout her life that we've had to deal with that I want to talk to you a little bit about now, and that is her teeth. So when baby tigers are born, they're wee little babies, about 2 pounds, and they grow pretty quickly. They start getting their teeth when they're only about 3 to 4 weeks old. So they get these little very sharp teeth, and then throughout the next year, until they're about a year old, then their adult teeth start growing in. And then their baby teeth fall out after their eye teeth. After their adult eye teeth come in, their baby teeth fall out. Rasa, unfortunately, her baby teeth didn't fall out, and it was not noticed in time, and it made her adult teeth grow in crooked. So she's had to have a lot of dental surgery. So to show you a little bit about the changes and how fast this happens, this is a baby tooth. So Leon Kona and Idris Khan, they just lost these baby teeth. So what happens, I have a skull here to show you how this works. The little baby teeth are in there, and then these big monster teeth grow in. Well, the baby teeth fall out to make room for the whole root to come out. And that didn't happen with Rasa. But to show you how crazy this is the baby tooth size. These eye teeth, or canines, this is the size of their teeth when they're about 1 year old that fall out. This is the tooth that they have. This one comes out. This is how big the tooth is in a 2-year-old tiger. So by the time the 4 cubs are 2 years old, they will have this growing inside their mouth. So it goes from this to this in 1 year. Now, if that isn't amazing, I don't know what is. Besides the size that Leon's growing, which I think he gains about 4 pounds a day. He's huge. And very interesting how their teeth grow. So why do you think that they need to have this giant tooth all the way up? Look, it goes all the way to the eye socket. Why do you think that they would need to have that tooth so long with just this much of the tooth showing? So this is why. Because when they hunt in the wild and they chase down their prey, they have to catch them with they catch them with their claws, but then they have to catch with their teeth also. So these 4 big eye teeth have to be strong enough to hold on to a wildebeest, possibly, some very large animals up to 2,000 pounds. So they have to have that rooted all the way up in there, which is not really good for tooth extraction like Rasa had to have. So that was a rough one. One of the interesting things also about these teeth is that they need to be exercised. One thing that we do at CARE that's different than most other facilities is we feed whole animals. Not just animal live. We feed parts of animals like the cow leg or deer. We had a deer that we picked up yesterday that got hit by a car, and so some of the younger animals love deer. But one of the important parts about feeding more holistically like we do is the fur is extremely important. It's loaded with calcium. The meat is important, but most of all, it really exercises these teeth and keeps all these teeth clean and strong. A couple research projects that we've done have proven over and over again that this way, the way that they eat in the wild, is a way that they should really eat. We feed only every 4 days here at CARE. It's very similar to what they do in the wild. So they eat a large amount and then they don't eat for a few days. So the big cats, the tigers and lions, like Sydney and Rasa, they eat every 4 days until they get older, which actually Sydney and Rasa are a little bit older, and usually at about 15 or 16 years old, they start getting some larger calcium amounts in chicken in between. But for most of their life, they're gonna eat every 4 days, the lions and tigers. Leopards and cougars eat every 2 days. Bobcats eat every single day, and so do lynx and servals. The smaller the animal, the more they eat, including the tiger cubs, the four tiger cubs that are a year old. They still eat almost every single day. They usually have one skip day a week, and they are eating more than the adult tigers. Kind of crazy. We would all like to thank Laura Hickey for sponsoring Sydney. Thanks, Laura.
All right, hi guys, this is Boomer. So right now I'm gonna feed him a bottle. I'm gonna get him started. Hey, Boomy, Boom. Pop up. Good boy. All right, we're going big, I guess. Let's see how good he does today. Good boy. Good job. Come on, keep going. Keep going. Alright, so the reason why we do bottles is because of training and also some enrichment. I mean, these guys absolutely love bottles. Some of the training that we do here, and Boomer does as well, is clicker trained and whistle training. The reason why we do that is for emergency protocols. So if we ever have a storm, or if anything ever needs to happen where we need to have these guys locked up in a smaller lockdown, they can do that immediately. Another thing that we do is clicker train to learn how to trim their claws. So they have to present their feet and their tail as well for blood draws. And we try to do that mostly for precautionary measures for later on. As they get older, they're eventually going to have to worry about having to trim their claws, any kind of veterinary issues, so we don't have to sedate the animals. The last thing we want to do is have to sedate any cats. So the easier they are around a vet and around veterinary procedures, the better off they are, especially whenever it comes to stress and no sedation. So Boomer is one of our big boys that are especially learning how to do this recently. There we go. Here, we'll go higher. I know you want to go higher. Dude, you're too tall. Alright, let's go. Alright, let's lay down. 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 There we go. Keep your head up. There we go. Good boy, Boom. So these cats do know pup up, which means jump on the platform. They know sit, they know down. Some of our other cats, Nadal and Divali, they know how to present their tail and their sides. So I'll usually click side, either left or right, but I usually say side. And they do target training as well. So they know pretty much where to go. And for the target training, what they'll do is they'll see their target, we'll put it in a random place, and they will actually boop their nose on it. And once they do, they'll get their trigger noise, whether that be a clicker or a whistle, and do not get that, and then they'll get their treat. Both Gabby and I are working on certain cats. I've been working with Nadal and Divali, and then Gabby has been working with Boomer, Slade, and Ezra. Keep going, bud. You go higher. Oh, you gotta suck out just one little bit. There we go. All done. Good boy. All right. Good boy, Boom.
Good boy.
All right, Boomer has a message from his sponsor, Julie McGuire. Julie says, Boomer, I love you and your brother so much. Have a possum day.
Hi. So, Slade here is probably the most physically impressive out of all the tigers that we have at the facility. Maybe the most physically impressive out of all the tigers that we've ever had. Now, it's not to say that he's, particularly like the biggest tiger that we've ever had. That's probably a crown that can go to chompers, but basically when you average together all of his abilities, he's got the most well-rounded kind of stat chart, I guess you could say. He can run, he can jump, he can climb, he can pull super heavy things. He can do things that normal tigers pretty much shouldn't be able to do. And he can do a bunch of things that normal tigers shouldn't be able to do. We've seen him perform feats of, well,
Super tiger strength.
Super tiger strength, yeah. Like literally like unbelievable type stuff. We've all, like, Heidi has seen like sleight of frame, more slender female tigers that can like do like kind of acrobatic kind of jump up kind of things. And Heidi has seen big honking just brute tigers that can kind of pull stuff that maybe like are really big and heavy. And the Slade, he can kind of do it all. That's what makes him just something else, something beyond what, like, again, normal tigers should be. And he knows he's good at hydrating. He's very good at keeping himself, just nice and fluided. The reason that Kiara actually had these enclosures built down here is really because of this guy. I mean, don't get me wrong, Boomer and Ezra, they're super big, they're super impressive, they're awesome tigers. But when you think of that word awesome, as in like, lo, the sky opened up and the awesome fury came down from the heavens, that is a word that is used to describe Mr. Slade-O Potato. And basically the legacy enclosures in the facility, honestly, we didn't think that they were quite enough to hold this guy long term. So we actually kind of had this one, and Heidi had designed it and commissioned it and planned it out very specifically to be even stronger and stouter than all the other enclosures that we have built here. Yeah, so this guy. And he's just kind of just like, hey, what's up, I'm Slade. He's just kind of a goofball,
And what do we call the three cats down here?
Oh, we call them the monsters. We call them the monsters. And you could also call I like to call it the Slade-O Dome. So that's like another one. The monsters is Slade-O Dome. Okay, we have a sponsor for Mr. Potato Head here, and that is Sandra Bloom. And the message that Sandra has for Slade is love and snuffles to the sweetest potato in the world. Sandra, thank you so much. Slade, can you say thank you?
Hi, everyone. We're here with Ezra. Ezra has an amazing story that is near and dear to my heart. Probably one of the most moving and touching stories since Care has started, I think. He was being held in South Texas at a zoo temporarily while there was a court hearing going on about his placement. He had been moved around and smuggled. I don't know if it was over the border or where he had gone back and forth, but I didn't know exactly what we were going to see when we got there to pick him up. He had been in holding, very little human contact for about 8 months, but he was very young. They were saying about 5 months when they took him away from the people that had been keeping them in their home. A tiger in their home. Not a good idea. He was the biggest burst of sunshine that you could imagine coming out of this darkness when the door was opened and the concrete cell behind and the little bars, which I'm hoping Melissa will be able to edit into this. When I saw him, like my heart just dropped. And that an animal that had been through so much still had more love. You had more love. You had more love than any animal I think I've ever seen. Yes, you are. He's a beautiful story just in his rescue. I can't relay how beautiful that experience was and how beautiful of an animal he is. Enjoy watching him. I hope he plays with every one of his pumpkins. And yay! I hope that he gives you a good show and you can, and for people that know his story before and knows where he came from, can see how beautiful his life is now and how happy he is and how little chubby he is. He's a perfect weight, a perfectly handsome, perfectly beautiful guy. I don't know what else to say except that he's perfect. And someday I think I'm going to write a book about him, or at least a children's story, something. I want to write something about him and how much human beings can learn about forgiveness and love, because he is pure love. And that's my story for today.
Ezra has a really special sponsor for this event, Nicolina and Cameron Day. Nicolina specifically wanted to say, you are a special boy with a special place in my heart. I love you, Mr. Handsome Face. Whoa, somebody got the good stuff. This is Bobby. Full name Bobby Gale. And you guessed it, she is a bobcat. And just like a lot of cats, particularly the smaller cats, she loves catnip. So we sprayed catnip all over these paper toys and she is going to town. She gets very drooly when she gets catnip, so she's been drooling all over it, and because she got it wet, the orange is getting all over her fur. You're a mess. But that's okay, she's having fun. Before she came to us, she was a pet. So her and a sibling were unfortunately shot by a ranger, and he found them when they were just babies, and he took one and gave the other one to a neighbor, and they raised her in the house with their family and with their pets. And when she was about 2 years old, the family had a baby and didn't want the bobcat around the baby, which makes sense. And so they moved her outside into an enclosure. And really they just felt like it wasn't the best place for her. They couldn't give her the care that she needed, so they reached out to us, and we were absolutely happy to take her in. So now that Bobby is done drooling all over her toys, this is her favorite spot in her enclosure to be. She loves her platforms because she gets to be up there and look down on us, her servants. Hi, Bob. Hi, honey. So to close out with Bobby, we've got a message from her sponsor for this event. Her sponsor is Michelle Spatos, and Michelle just wanted to donate and help out, knowing the crazy world of COVID has been difficult. And yes, it has. It's been difficult for a lot of people. Fortunately, it hasn't been difficult for Bobby. She does not care. She knows no difference. And it's because of donors like you that she knows no different. So thank you again, Michelle.
This enclosure is sponsored by First State Bank. First State Bank has a 115-year history of supporting local charities and civic organizations. First State Bank is proud to support CARE and the annual Fall Fest event, treating our community as our home. First State Bank. Okay, so we have got the vet center enclosure right here. It is an enclosure that is adjacent to our vet center. Imagine how that works. Now, animals that come to live in the vet center are animals that maybe they're sick, or maybe they're a little bit old, or maybe they just need a little bit of extra TLC. And they will come and live in the vet center, where they have a lot of attention from our dedicated staff, our interns, our directors. And it is climate controlled, heated in the winter, cooled in the summer. There's blankets, there's pillows, there's all sorts of things. And as of right now, Cassie, our cougar / puma / mountain lion, is the current resident of the vet center enclosure. She used to live in the round pen, but she started getting old. She started getting arthritic. She started to have a little bit of difficulty getting up and down platforms. Her vertical mobility was restricted, so we decided to move her into the vet center where she could get all sorts of love and attention and be safe. And she's been digging it. So, whenever you are ready, Miss Des. So each one of those paper pumpkins were sprayed with Obsession cologne. And for those of you that may not know, Obsession actually does have chemical alkaloids in it that resemble jaguar pheromones, believe it or not. So some of the cats, they'll smell this stuff and they get very interested. But it doesn't seem like Cass is extremely interested. She just wants to squeak. And she probably is wondering where her treats are. She is an old girl, 18 years old. That is smack dab in the middle of Old Ladiesville. Sass. 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 Okay. Oh, actually, nope. There she's playing. Cassie, come here. Come on. Come here, baby. There's a good girl. Good girl. Interesting thing about mountain lions is that they can purr. And it kind of sounds like one of those small fishing trawling motors, just whenever they're purring. Now, cats that can purr can't roar. Then on the flip side of that equation is also true. Cats that can roar, they can't purr. So that's the big thing. If you had to choose which one you would rather do, would you rather be able to purr or roar? Which one would you want? Which one would you rather have the ability to do? So Destiny and Gabby, they put the paper streamers up and different things, and they work really hard, not only at just taking care of the day-to-day health and welfare considerations of the facility, but they also work really hard on doing different things that involve enrichment. Animals that live in captivity, that's a very strong and significant consideration, is that enrichment element. Basically, you want to make sure that the gears inside their brains are oiled and running and doing different little things, little puzzly kind of things, or crinkly little things, or stimulating things to their senses. Goes a long way to making them psychologically well-grounded. So that's a really good thing. Okay, we have a sponsor for Cassie, Miss Mary Ellie. Pick one of those. And then the message from Mary is, Mary wants to offer her thoughts, prayers, good vibes to the universe for 2021 to be less eventful than 2020. For my family, for Care, and for anyone. So, thanks a lot, Mary. Say thank you, Mary.
This is Mika. Mika is going to hang out with me while I talk about her and her roomie, Zara. Zara is over there. Beware, there is meat with her. We are not going close to Zara because Zara will get very angry with us, which she is protecting her food right now. So we're not going to get in her space. But we're going to talk a little bit about these guys. You saw them playing and going crazy, and that is like their normal state. But it is feeding time, so Mika has already eaten. She is chill and relaxed, and Zara, like I said, is still over there chowing down. So Mika and Zara both came to us when they were little. They were each about 3 to 4 months old when they got here. They came at different times, a couple months apart, and they both came from private owners, and unfortunately they... May I help you?
Bless you. Nope. No.
So, they got here at different times. They're both young. We got them from private owners that relinquished them. And unfortunately, they didn't have a great start here because they both had broken legs. And
you have to keep in mind that these animals, even when they're babies, they are tough. They are built strong because they are built to withtake a lot of abuse in the wild. They fall, they get hit, the prey animals can kick them. They're tough animals, so even as babies, to have a broken leg without some kind of significant trauma is usually a sign of malnutrition. They just weren't getting the nutrition that they need to build strong, healthy bones. So that was likely the case with both of them. So when they got here, and when we learned that they had broken legs, we had to keep them both in very small areas. And so they both went into tiger cub jail. They were not happy about being in jail. It was not fun for them. It wasn't fun for us because you had two really high energy cats, and they are still high energy, that had to be really confined to small areas so that they would move around as little as possible to give their legs time to heal. They were not happy, and it made them even more hyper. They were just pinging off the walls all the time because they couldn't get that energy out. So thankfully, they both healed very quickly. They were on great formula and a lot of supplements, and we kept them as safe as possible. And when they healed, then they got to go in their big girl enclosure, and we began the process of introducing them to one another. In the wild, tigers would be solitary animals. They wouldn't live together, but in captivity, it's really a different life. They just don't have the stimulation that they would in the wild. So whenever we do have single cats, we try, at least when they're at a young age, we try to pair them so that they have a companion. So Mika has a wonderful sponsor. Angela would like to tell Mika that you are amazing and you have stolen my heart. I hope you get extra chicken today, and try not to bully Zara. She doesn't promise anything.
Yep, no promises. No promises.
Thank you, Advanced Foam Recycling, for sponsoring Lakai's enclosure.
Okay, I am with my boy Lakai. Now, please excuse him if he's being a little grumpy. He actually has food in there with him, so he could be a little not happy with my presence right now. But we're gonna do our best. So I really wanted to talk about Lakai because he happens to be my adopted cougar. We have an amazing adoption and sponsorship program here where donors can commit to a certain amount every month that helps go directly to their care, and you get to know that you are helping an individual cat have the best life that they can possibly have here. He was wild born.
He was born in Canada, and I believe his mother was hit by a car, and he was left alone for a little while, long enough for him to get frostbite on his ear, which is why he has lost part of his ear. And then when he was just a few months old, he was picked up by some people in Canada, who then transferred him to the Dallas Zoo, where he then got to spend most of his life, about 7 years, with another mountain lion named Apollo. And just a couple years ago, the Dallas Zoo decided to retire them and asked us to take them in. So we did. Unfortunately, Apollo was a very large guy and suffered from a congenital heart problem and passed away very suddenly due to a heart attack. And that left Lakai by himself, but he's actually doing really good. He loves the quiet. He loves the solitude. He is happy to be away from the action and be away from people and just live a very simple existence here at Care. Yeah. You're the most beautiful. He's growling now. All right, Lakai's sponsor for this event also happens to be his adopted dad, who is Chris Duddle. And Chris Duddle said, I hope you get plenty of chicken at the fall festival. Chris, we did you one better. He got deer. He's a very happy cougar.
Oh goodness. I mean, at times.
At times.
All right, we are here with one of our troops of ring-tailed lemurs. We got these guys. It was not something that we had really planned on, being a primarily big cat facility. We didn't think that we would have primates in our care, but somebody that had been hired to take a troop of lemurs from a breeding facility in Florida to a zoo in South America got stuck with them when the zoo either couldn't or didn't want to take them anymore. So he approached us to see if we could take them. And we said, yeah, how hard could it be? They're tiny little primates. We didn't know when we took them in that all of the females were pregnant. So that was a bit of a surprise and something that we hadn't really counted on. So we ended up with more lemurs than we originally thought we were going to be taking care of, which was fine, but it did end up making it to where we have two separate troops now, and you'll meet the second troop in just a little bit. But this troop is the larger of the two troops. This is a troop of 5 individuals. I find lemurs absolutely fascinating. They are very intelligent in a lot of ways. They do all kinds of really cool things. They form lemur balls when they are bonding, and when they're tired, they get in a group and they wrap their tails around each other. And it's really adorable and sweet, and it's how they keep warm, but it's also how they bond with each other. They're very, very social animals. They live in large family groups normally. The boys, we have 2 boys in this group, and the boys sometimes fight for dominance, and when they do what's called a stink fight, and they wipe their tails over their
scent glands, and they wave their tails at one another, and whoever is the stinkiest wins, I guess. They're just really cool. And one of the coolest things about lemurs is the fact that there are about 100 different species of lemurs, and they look totally different. There's really, really small ones. The mouse lemur is tiny. There's lemurs that are bigger than these guys. The ring-tailed lemur, which is what we have, is one of the most recognizable because of those long black and white tails. But all different kinds of lemur, 100 different species, all come from one place in the entire world, and that is Madagascar off the coast of Africa. So it's amazing that this tiny little island supports such diversity in a type of animal like the lemur. So while the lemurs are getting their enrichment, we had Destiny, our operations director, and Gabby, our intern, bring in a snuffle mat and some manipulatives for them, and put some food down on the ground in a maze that they could go and forage. They need a lot of stimulation because they are intelligent animals, so this is one of the ways that we keep them mentally active. And before we leave, I want to introduce you to another member of the troop. This one doesn't look like the other ones. This is Bellini. We have a flock of chickens here, and we actually use their eggs to supplement the diets of a lot of the animals. So it keeps us from having to go to the store and get store-bought eggs. It's very sustainable, and they are 100% free range here. They're very happy. But when they were little and growing up, Bellini here just was a little different than the others. And she's our special needs chicken. She's a little physically and mentally different than the other chickens. So she really can't live with them because they are totally free range. She probably wouldn't be able to really handle life without some support. She used to live with our Kawadi, Bindi, who passed away at a very old age not too long ago. And she's been really lonely, so we tried her out with the lemurs, and it seems to be working okay. They coexist, but at least she has some company because unfortunately no one can be here to have a lap available for her at all times, which is what she would really like. But that's it. Let's go meet the other troop.
Hi, so this is Momo. Come on, over here. So Momo, I'm gonna have her eating this whole entire time. So Momo is one of our more special lemurs. She came here about 3 years ago. She was definitely a rescue. Whenever she got here, she weighed less than a newborn whenever she was about 3 months old. She's by far our smallest lemur. Definitely probably never gonna grow to the normal size of a lemur just due to improper nutrition as a baby. Momo came here. It was kind of a miracle that she lived. She was about this big, very, very tiny. And we pretty much stayed up all night, all day, just constantly feeding her, trying to get her nutrition. She eventually got to the point where we realized, okay, she is going to live. So then we had to figure out, okay, we can't just throw her in with a random troop and just cross our fingers and hope it works. So, gratefully, Gabby's going to talk to you more about Rita, but Rita is one of our more mom-type lemurs, and she actually accepted Momo as a baby. And Momo was latched onto her. We actually kept her in the sunroom, where we've also had Zub and Ra's babies, pretty much every animal, in Raven's new room. But we kind of kept them in there for a while just so they can acclimate perfectly, and then eventually, whenever Momo got big enough to come outside, she got to be a full-grown lemur and works perfectly with this troop. Now, most lemurs have to be raised by the mom, and that's because they have to understand social cues. Now, if they're bottle fed, they tend to have a little bit more aggression. They don't quite understand what's needed within the within the troop and what's needed with humans. So Momo has a little bit of an issue with different people of all different types. She's really, really great with her immediate caretakers, but sometimes we have to be like, a little bit more space, because she just doesn't understand that if I do this, if I scratch, that is bad. We do give her quite a bit of enrichment, including these squeezies, which I specifically got for the occasion, which is pumpkin and banana. Her favorites, however, are blueberry and banana, but this works now. A lot of people try to acquire these guys as pets. This is something I absolutely do not recommend. There's a lot of different things that are needed to give these guys a proper nutrition. Without the nutrition, these guys can't survive. And if they are acquired as pets, they do tend to be extremely, extremely aggressive. And these guys do seem really sweet and cuddly, but they do have very long claws or nails on both front and back. And then they do have very, very sharp teeth. So highly do not recommend. We tend to actually get several calls a month just asking us to take in animals because people acquire them as pets and realize it's a bad idea. We're grateful that we got Momo, and hopefully we can no longer get that many calls.
Hi, I'm the intern Gabby, and this is Rita. Destiny talked about her a little bit. She is Momo's kind of like adoptive mom. I'm gonna set this down so everyone can share, and we're gonna just show them what we got here. So we have some enrichment set up for them here. It's Cheerios, which, okay, actually I'll talk about that. So we have lemurs. Ring-tailed lemurs are pretty sensitive with their pecking order, which is kind of the order in which just who's more dominant and who's kind of the leader, especially during the breeding cycle. And here we have 3 females in here and 1 male. This is Mort. And then the other females, we have Momo, Rita, and Miss Stewart. She is a female.
Eat as fast as you can, Mort. He's just grabbing handfuls. Okay, so this is Mort. He's the only male in this troop, and everybody loves Mort because he is just a laid-back dude. All he really wants in life is just to eat. Just for people to leave him alone so he can eat. And Mort has a sponsor, actually happens to be his real adoptive mom. We have a great adoptive and sponsorship program here at CARE that we'll talk about in another part of the tour, but his adoptive mom also sponsored him for this event, and that is Kim Swainer. And Kim says, "Oh Mort, in true male lemur fashion, you are the most underrated yet darling of fellows. Your adoptive mom in Utah sure misses you and our CARE family, and I hope that Jamie and the interns are giving you your fill of blueberries. Love you, sweet boy." He's getting his fill of Cheerios right now. This is Dahlia. Dahlia here is getting a special treat. She would not normally get Fruit Loops, but trying to keep her away from Heidi right now, who is setting up a special event for the llamas. Dahlia was brought to us when she was a tiny baby. She was a month old. She was actually being surrendered by her owner because she had a broken leg. And we thought we could fix it. Our vet thought we could fix it. Excuse me! No. He couldn't fix it, and we had to amputate her leg. Which meant that she had to be hand raised, which is not always a great idea with llamas. Because when they're hand raised, they turn out to be brats. Like that. On the other hand, there's Yolo. Yolo is a civilized llama. She lives by normal llama rules. Where Dahlia is wanting to be in everybody's face in business all the time because she thinks that she is part lion, part human, part dog. Yolo is perfectly happy, safely socially distancing from everyone.
But Yolo was brought here because really, when Dahlia was younger, she helped take care of the two male lions, Zubiri and Arale. She was like a mom to them, and she loves young animals, and so she really took care of them. Of course, being lions and being predators, it was a short-lived relationship. They got older. She couldn't be around them anymore, and all of a sudden she was by herself. So someone heard we had a lonely llama and brought Yolo to be her companion. Now, Yolo is a Surrey llama. They are most known for having really long, silky hair. And as it turns out, Dahlia here is not really a llama at all. She is a guanaco. And guanacos are the wild mother species of llamas. So llamas were domesticated. They were selectively bred to be domesticated from guanacos, and guanacos are natives to Peru and other parts of South America. And if you go and look online for guanacos, you will see an animal that looks exactly like Dahlia, except with 4 legs instead of 3.
Hello, mademoiselle. Enjoy a wonderful Thanksgiving arrangement made especially for you. Might there be any other things I could get for you on this wonderful brisk fall day? The Fruit Loops were harvested from the Ardennes forests. Why? They're the best region where Fruit Loops can come from. Mademoiselle, you are late to the party, fashionably late. You may come and also enjoy the Thanksgiving spread for you. And so, Mademoiselle, please come back. So, might you enjoy some of the the Thanksgiving spread? So you're going to step on my foot. Perhaps if I give Miss Yolo a little bit more room, she will feel more comfortable coming to have the Fruit Loops. I shall be over here, mademoiselle, if you need anything from me. Ma'am, the turkey is for decoration. It is not for eating. Madame. Madame, that was in 1972. What are you doing? Madame, you are starting to make a little bit of a mess.
Here we got a Dahlia, which this is not her part, but she has to be involved in everything. This is actually for Godzilla, our sulcata tortoise. So he's 32 and very handsome. We've had him for a few years now, 2 years. We didn't rescue him. We were asked to take care of him after somebody else had taken care of him that had rescued him before. Okay, we're not going to share. They're called sulcata tortoises. They're from Africa. And also spurred tortoises because of the sharp spurred scales that they have on the back of their legs. They're quite aggressive, especially males. They can be aggressive from the minute they hatch, fighting with other male tortoises. They don't become sexually mature until they're 15 years old, so they are getting quite vulnerable in the wild because they're used for their meat, and they don't become sexually mature soon enough before they're hunted a lot of times.
Godzilla's a big guy. We weighed him.
Over 100 pounds.
Yeah, not long ago. He's over 100 pounds.
We don't give them a lot of fruits very often because they're high in sugar. But this is a special treat for him today. Normally they just eat roots and cactus and those type of things. They sometimes go weeks without drinking anything or eating anything in the wild. And he really digs the pumpkin.
Long-time care supporters, the Ray family, sponsored Raven's enclosure, and they wanted to say that they are honored to support CARE and that they look forward to visiting again soon. We look forward to that too, guys.
Okay, here we are. This is Raven. Raven is a black leopard, for those of you that don't know. Some people call it Black Panther. That just means black cat, as in black big cat. Raven is now 23 years old. She is, for those that don't know, she has just been, her application has been accepted at the Guinness Book of World Records, and we just need to finish up with the proving stage. Well, Raven, for the oldest living leopard. So, not the oldest leopard that ever lived. That will come in less than a year if she, when she gets to be 24 years and 53 days, I think it is. A leopard, you think would have spots. So Raven doesn't have spots. She's all black, but she does have spots in the blackness. So that's what's really cool about her. Most people, obviously in the beginning, whenever you see these beautiful babies in Africa and Asia, you see them and they just look totally black. She looks black, but when the sun shines on her, you can see her spots. Black with black spots. I tell you a little bit about our amazing sunroom that was built by our very dear friends. Andrew and Kelly Rotner helped plan this special room for Zuby and Ra whenever they were little, our lions when they were sick. Making sure that we had tons of sunlight, lots and lots of windows for vitamin D, which is important to animals of many ages, not just ones that have calcium deficiencies or vitamin A deficiencies, but the elderly too, like Raven, who may not want to go outside very much. She can go outside. There's a drop area over there behind that curtain by the teddy bears. She can go outside there, and then she has a large area outside with grass and trees and places to roll in the grass, I guess. And she has 2 beds outside too. Well, actually, she now has 3 beds outside. Just depending upon her energy level that day. Being as old as she is, she has a lot of challenges physically. So we make sure that she has the most and best accommodation she could possibly get. We love having Raven in here, and we hope to have her in here for years to come, especially until the Guinness Book of World Records comes in a year and less than a year.
Go for it, Raven.
She's going to do it.
Yeah, she can do it. She's got this.
She's got it. She looks amazing. I could only attribute that to Antonal again. I cannot stress the amazing qualities that Antonal has for these animals. So, Merry Christmas, sweet Raven.
Merry Christmas. Ho, ho, ho.
One last thing to say about Sweet Ray. We want to thank her sponsors that sponsored her for this event, Lydia and Ben Frederick. They have a message for her. They said, "You are an inspiration and living proof of the quality of care that animals receive here. We adore you and can't wait to see you break the world record. Lydia and Ben."
Aw.
Lydia and Ben, they came here on their honeymoon.
Oh.
Yeah, they stayed in the suites. Really
That's nice.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it looks like she's getting washed up after dinner, and soon it will be bedtime.
Night-night.
Night-night, baby.
These pinatas were made last year by Melinda Wright, who, most of the pinatas that you'll see today, she either made or she purchased. She's just a fabulous volunteer. And we decided to do this last year when the kids were little, but then they got big. And, we just didn't do it last year, and so we decided to do it this year when we have more time, and so that's it. This is our goodbye, this is our send-off, this is our last enclosure. We're really, really excited. Well, I guess we should thank everybody for joining in and following us.
Yes, this is it. This is the big farewell. Thank you so much for being a part of this year's Fall Festival. It's a little different this year, but we had a lot of fun. We hope you did too. And if you would like to make a donation to support CARE, please head to our website at carerescuetexas.com. We accept any...
carerescuetexas.com.
That one. We accept any and all donations, and if you can't donate, don't worry about it. We hope you enjoyed it anyway.
And we had great sponsors, amazing people that have always helped CARE be what it is. And Jamie knows I get teary-eyed when I talk about this, so turn the camera away, Jamie. But thank you, everyone who made this possible. It was a real group effort. And so many more people hopefully got to see this year than ever before and enjoy for free. That's a nice thing when you have sponsors, that we can do this for everyone, knowing that 2020 is such a rough year for so many.
Couldn't have done it without you folks. My name is Care Jamie, and it's a little known fact that tigers eat 70 pounds of cardboard every day. Right there, Slade, he's right behind. That's who he is. Slade,
Just making sure you know who I am. This is me and that's my name.
They all leave me.
She went into, the llama just went into the kitchen and tore open all of our Fruit Loops.
You're a good boy. Farts and all.
It's the second time. It's the second time that one fell down. It won't stay put. And then that one fell down too. I don't feel so bad now.
Tigers are so graceful.
Dee I see you. Hi, Dee Go play.
Excuse me, officer. Have you seen any cute tigers around here? Oh, jeepers, Crim. Jeepers. Fall festival.
Derek.
What? Watch out, baby. Buggy. Buggy. Oh gosh. Ah, yeah.
Don't laugh at me, Derek.
Don't laugh at me. Don't look at me.